Pope Francis made a surprise appearance for the Easter Sunday blessing at St. Peter's Square in the Vatican, which turned out to be his final public moment. The world was shocked by the news of his death the following day. At 88 years old, Pope Francis leaves behind a rich legacy, reaching out to the unheard and comforting those in need. His remarkable journey began with a humble request, not only for God's blessing, but also for the prayers of the people who believed in him. As he departs, he leaves behind footprints that will last a lifetime. On the 13th of March 2013, Jorge Mario Bergoglio was christened as Pope Francis, becoming the first Jesuit pope. As he assumed the highly revered role at the Vatican, his mission was simple. Pope Francis chose humility, simplicity, and compassion over fame and riches. He yearned to serve the people in every possible way. Pope Francis firmly believed that inequality should be banished from the face of the earth. He reminded the world that the poor matter just as much as those of high status. He walked with them, listened to their pleas, and stood firmly against what he called the economy of exclusion. On Holy Thursdays, he washed the feet of prisoners, refugees, and even Muslims, showing the world that dignity knows no boundaries. His papacy became a global call to mercy, a mission to place the forgotten at the center of the Church. As Pope, Francis reached not only the poor, but also those shunned by society. The LGBTQ+ community, often marginalized by religion, was seen, acknowledged, and included in his pastoral vision. Under his leadership, the Vatican softened its guidelines on admitting gay men to train as priests. When questioned about the role of gay priests, the Pope replied, "If someone is gay and he searches for the Lord and has goodwill, who am I to judge?" These simple but profound words marked a dramatic shift in the tone for the Catholic Church. In another historic move in 2023, Pope Francis approved the blessing, though not of marriage, of same-sex couples under certain conditions, emphasizing compassion without compromising doctrine. Throughout his papacy, Pope Francis condemned the wars that erupted in Ukraine and Gaza. He prayed for a peaceful solution to the disastrous wars. He condemned the violence in Ukraine as absurd and cruel, calling for an immediate ceasefire. He even suggested that Ukraine consider negotiations mediated by international parties. In the Gaza conflict, he called for a halt to hostilities and the release of hostages as well as full access to humanitarian aid. Throughout the wars, he stood firm by his stance that conflict is always defeat. Apart from the people, Pope Francis also cared deeply for the environmental crisis. One of his most groundbreaking legacies is the 2015 encyclical Laudato Si, on care for our common home. Addressed to the bishops of the Roman Catholic Church, the document highlighted the urgent ecological crisis the planet faces. He called for an ecological conversion, urging the world to protect the earth and its most vulnerable people. More than just a church document, Laudato Si became a global call for justice, cited by scientists, activists, and world leaders. Francis also emphasized the health risks linked to pollution and stressed the urgent need for action in the face of mounting environmental challenges. Although Pope Francis lost his battle with pneumonia, his legacy lives on in the hearts of those he touched. He won't be remembered only as Pope Francis, but as the people's Pope, a shepherd who walked with the poor, spoke up for the voiceless, and chose mercy over might. And that's a legacy no passage of time can ever erase.